All right, so it's gonna be recorded right somewhere. I'm gonna make this shit smaller. Put this other way too. All right, so Friday, I'm not sure if you guys saw, but I was looking to sell. Called the sell them in the signal group. It didn't activate by a few pips, but it played out for a 1 to 3. Didn't happen literally by like a few pips. We didn't enter here. It was honestly literally like a few pips, but it's fine. So let's just delete all this shit and I'll show you guys how I find a market direction from scratch. So first things first, right? If we're trading on, we're going to be trading tomorrow, New York session. It doesn't matter if you're trading New York session or London session. First thing you got to do is mark the highs and lows, which is going to be coming from Friday's price. So we're going to mark this right here as high of day. We're going to mark this right here as low of day. And we're going to make sure we're getting the actual low of day. So we're going to zoom in and be precise because you want to be as precise as possible, guys. So we're going to mark this right here as low of day. And so we got high of day, low of day. Oh, also make sure you guys stick to the end. So I'm going to pick two people that, because last week, I don't know what happened. I don't think I picked a winner. So this week we'll pick two people to give $100 at the end of the Zoom. So make sure you guys stick to the end. I'll give away $200. I'll make sure we get back, what we didn't get back last week. So we got the high of day, we got the low of day. Now we're going to mark the previous high and the previous low of day. So same rule, highest point between Frankfurt and New York session. So right here we mark the previous high of day. And we mark this as the previous low. Now, for some of you guys asking, why do you always mark this first? I promise you, you guys just gotta watch the YouTube videos. You'll see that whenever they're in confluence with the area of supply or demand, it's a higher probability trade to take. So whenever you have a higher low of day or a previous high or previous low of day, in confluence with an area of supply or demand that you're looking to take a trade from, the higher probability trade. Now, keeping that in mind, now we're going to go on the weekly time frame and identify the market direction for gold. So right now what we're doing is identifying the market direction for gold. Now, first things first, we're going to zoom out right here. Let me get a 7 in the chat if you guys are paying attention and you guys are ready for the heat. All right, perfect. You guys are paying attention. All right, perfect. So first things first, guys, we're looking at the weekly time frame. The only thing we have here is areas of demand that we can mark. We're going to mark this one here. It's going to be a weekly. I'm going to mark weekly. And we have this right here as well, which are the next two immediate zones as far as weekly demand goes. We have this one all the way down here that created the impulse to the upside. I'll mark it just for the hell of it to point out that this is a true area of demand. But before price makes its way over here, price has to hit these two areas first. So notice distribution pulled back into this area right here. Then price created this new area, this new distribution here. Yeah, this area here, this area here, and this area here. But these are the first targets for price. Now, we got to go on the daily. On the daily, this is where we had we start to see supplies. Now, the supply that we have on the daily is this one right here. So we mark it like this. Daily. So we have daily supply for gold. And we have a daily demand in confluence with the weekly demand over here. So we mark it like that. Big void to be filled once we break past this area. Just know gold will make its way over here. Mark it like that as daily as well. Now I started. I don't know what the fuck is it. All right, now we go to the H4 time frame, guys. Now the H4 time frame, you guys are gonna see how we start breaking everything down as well. So here with the H4, we have with the daily, we have an H4 supply in confluence. So H4 and daily in confluence. What do you guys notice here? Price pretty much pulled back into this H4 supply here. Pretty much this is this area right here. And then created this new area over here. On the daily, it touched it. Look over here. So we have this area here, H4. I'm going to mark this right here as H4 demand. Now go to H1. You guys are gonna see how this is iris it ties in. Now notice how we're on the H1 time frame. Mark like this. Mark this right here. H1. Like that. I'm just double checking that here. Yeah, perfect. Now we go to F15, we turn this on. Pretty much, obviously we need to see what London does tonight. So obviously we need to see like what happens when we come to trade in our session. But on the higher time frame, guys, if we look at the higher time frame, like the H4 time frame, it seems as far as like what it seems like price is finding demand, which the higher time frame demand would be the H4, the H1 demand down here. Look at the H1 and the H1, what do we have? Price is pretty much coming off of this area right here. So we have price actually coming off of this area right here. I didn't even see that. And then now we go down 15, we turn this on. So maybe London will do something like this. And we have an M15 supplier here. So honestly, London could honestly sell from right here. I might see price do something like this. And honestly, I'd expect the bearish move to happen from here. Target. Does that make sense, guys? Now, obviously, if price doesn't sell, let's just say price doesn't sell from this area, because price doesn't have to 100% sell from here. So let's just say London doesn't give you the entry confirmation to sell off this M15, this H1 supply was created that we're expecting here. Then just know price 100%. If we do not sell from this area, price will definitely break past this area and you could buy targeting this supply right here. So either you look for sells off of this area or price breaks past this area, you look to buy and then you target this supply up here. Let me get a 1 in the chat if that makes sense, or a 2 if that's confusing. Someone says, how do you know which direction the market's going to go in? So you don't know what the market's going to do. So the only thing you could anticipate is for price when your session opens up to see if London creates an area supply on the lower time frame off of that area. If it does, then that's how you sell. You sell off that area that London creates. If it doesn't, London breaks past it, then London's going to give you an opportunity to buy. All right, perfect. So we'll go up to the next pair now. All right, it should be close. All right, so we'll go to the next one, guys. So the next one, let's see what we got. Oh, I'm recording this, guys, so I got you. All right, so I have US 30 here, so let's do US 30, which I don't know what I have this next, but it's fine. We'll do that. All right, so for US 30, this was the last thing that I had. I had this drawn last week, or no, I'm talking shit. I had this drawn on maybe Friday when I did my analysis. I'm not sure. But regardless, we'll break this down from scratch. So if you notice, I had this area marked as a target. That New York was probably going to give a bearish move. That's how price gave the bearish move and how we tap. Once we break past this area, price pretty much heads to the next zone. All right, so we'll just delete all this shit. Start from scratch. So same thing, guys. We're going to mark the high of day, which is right here. The highest point between Frankfurt and New York session on Friday. And now we're going to mark the low of day, which is going to be this point right here. Low of day. And now we're going to mark the previous high, previous low of day. This point right here. And there we go, previous low of day. Now, this is where the sauce comes in. We go on the weekly time frame, do our top-down analysis, and identify what the hell is going on with price, right? So right here on the weekly time frame, check it out. Same thing pretty much as gold. So we don't have areas of supply to work with on coming on the weekly time frame. So what do we have? We have areas of demand. So we have this area right here that we can mark as weekly demand. Now, why is it this area? This is the previous contract candle before this big push to the upside. Now we got to go to the daily. On the daily, what do we have? This is where we start to see the puzzle pieces. So on the daily here, we have an area of supply right here. Right here. And we have an area of demand right here. Daily. Zoom out. Have this area here. Actually, look at this area. This area is tapped. You guys can see how precise these areas of supply or demand are. Look at this right here. Price pulled back into it. Look at the volume that came off of it. So this area is no longer valid. This would be the next zone over here. Daily. And then now we go to the, let's see, so that's the daily time frame. Now I got to go to the H4 time frame real quick. So we go to H4. And then on the H4 time frame, this is what we got. Price literally tapped this area to the exact pip. And then we created this area right here. So check it out, guys. Price pretty much tapped this exact area to the exact pip. And now I'm gonna just delete it. But I wanted to highlight that just so you guys can see how precise it was. Now, the actual true area of supply, you guys know, is the one that the previous contract candle that creates the push. So it would be by definition this one right here. But these areas are still valid. Price could react off of it. You can see how it did. Now, let's go to the H1 time. Actually, let me mark this right here. I'll mark that. And this area right here. All right, now we go to H1 time frame. Start tying everything in. All right, all these areas, there's no areas right here on the H1. And supply, that's fine. Got this right here on that 15. Honestly, we have to see what the session does. So we have to see what London does. But as far as what I'm seeing, I'm not gonna lie. So H4, M15. Let me see. I would honestly expect price to pull back into this area here. So I really do think price is gonna do something like this. Pull back into this area right here. Either this M15 and sell from this M15 or create an area supply off this high of day. I think price is going to do one of these two scenarios or sell from that area right here. Now, obviously, if London does not give you this opportunity and you see London does not like sell off this area, you guys know that if price will head to the next area of supply. So that's the most, like, I feel like that's the easiest way to find market direction. And you guys know that it's the way that the market actually moves. Like I prove this to you guys every single time and you guys see it in the YouTube videos. So if price does not give you an opportunity to sell here, you guys know that price is going to give a bullish move up into the next area of supply, which would be up here. And then all you got to do is look for an opportunity to buy to take you to the next supply. So super simple. Looking for sells either off this M15 And if price does not give you an opportunity to sell off the 10-15 or previous 5-day, you guys know that price will head up to the next area of supply. All right, so let me let these people in right here. All right, perfect. Let me run in. All right, so let's go to the next one. So let's go to Euro USD. Now this looks like shit here. I don't know what the fuck happened here, but and usually we never see gaps with Oanda, so that's actually very weird that we're seeing these gaps here with Oanda. But yo, what's up, my bro? So check it out. Let's break this down. So just not having broke this down since last week, since we broke this down. So let's see. Dude, what the hell we expected last week. So price headed to the supply, we filled the void that we expected right here, but price did not sell from this area. So price did not sell from that area that we anticipated. Eventually price sold, but not from the area that we anticipated. All right, so let's break this down. Let's try to make this fast, guys. My lungs are fucking starting to hurt. I'm talking. All right, so let's go. We got this right here. Let me put this. This is our actually this right here. This is our 5-day right here. A 5-day. Remember, guys, stick to the end. I'm gonna give away $200. Maybe it's not a lot, but I mean it's $100, quick $100 for each one of you. So that's pretty decent. So we got a low of day and we got the high of day. Sorry, excuse me, guys. Here. Then we have the previous high of day over here. Previous low of day, previous high of day. Now this is where the sauce comes in. So our top-down analysis, we start on the weekly time frame, identifying where the hell price is going. So eventually, we know it's going to take a long time, but eventually price will make its way up here. So it's going to take a while, but we know price is definitely going to make its way up here to this weekly time frame. I mean, this weekly supply. Notice, I always say this supply here was created about 3 years ago, 2018. The price 2 years to pull back into it, and then now we created this new area off of it. Now, check it out. We also have these areas in between, so I'll mark these here. Show you guys what would be the next target for price. This area right here. That's going to be the next target for price weekly here. As far as supply goes on the higher time frames. Now let's go to the daily. Daily, we have this daily supply right here. And we have this also, this other daily supply. So daily, and we have another daily supply here. Perfect, this one right here. So check it out. This is how pretty much it's gonna work. So what I just marked right now is pretty much the next targets for price as far as daily time frame goes. So you guys know that the next target as far as daily time frame is going to be this one as far as supply. If price breaks past this area, you guys know that price will head to the next area. And if we break past this area, we'll head to the actual target up here. But these are the next targets for price on the daily. Now we got to go to the H4 time frame. And actually, yeah, let me let these people in. All right, now we go to the H4 time frame and we still clean up our chart a little bit. So on the H4 time frame, we have this area right here. H4 supply. and this one right here, H4. Perfect. So we got H4, H4. Da, da, da. And now we go to the, let me see, price is, let me see, this is crazy. Look how precise this is, guys. Price is pretty much coming off of this H4 demand right here. Well, it hasn't touched it quite yet. Maybe on the H, we'll see that now. It's probably a different time frame, but this is definitely touching like a H1 or the daily demand right here. On the H4, it's right here. All right, so let's go to the time frame, H1, and mark this right here. All right, so in just a second, I will tell you what to expect if you trade Euro USD. So price is definitely 100% heading to an area of supply. Now, the area of supply of price is going to make its way to, the first target is going to be this H1 supply up here. So what could you expect? Maybe London will give you an opportunity to buy off of somewhere here. So London will probably create an area of demand off of one of these areas here. Off of the high of day or the previous high of day here. Like that. And it would look like that. Either that or price might not be so nice and it will just create a new area of demand somewhere here in session. And that's still fine. You can still take that, targeting this area right here. So pretty much you're looking to buy to take you to the supply, or you're going to look for an opportunity to sell at the supply. Does that make sense, guys? So we got a 1 in the chat if that makes sense, or a 2 if it doesn't make sense. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay, so let's go on to GJ then. Let's do GJ. Who here trades GJ? I'm just curious. Let me know in the chat. Who here trades GJ? It's open, my bro. Okay. All right, I'll still break it down. All right, so GJ. Same thing, mark the high and low of day. And then we do our top down analysis. So right now we mark this right here. This is the high of day right here. Now mark the low of day right here. And then right here, we're gonna mark the previous high and the previous low of day. So previous high of day right here. Previous low of day right here. And then now we're going to do a top-down analysis, identifying where price is going. So check it out, guys. GJ is interesting because of where price is at. So, sorry, excuse me. Check this out. Now, I didn't catch that. For some reason, I didn't delete everything else that I had before. But you can see that we did get a bullish move last week, which was what I was saying that was going to happen. There's nothing stopping price up until this next target up here. Now, let me delete all this shit because I did not realize that I had all that. So I'll mark the previous high and previous low of day once we come back down on the lower time frames. But what I had marked guys was this right here. So if we look to the left, right, we look to the left on GJ because you always have to look to the left. Price is making its way to this area of supply on the weekly. So if I just go right here, I replay this, I go down to the daily. Prices, you see daily, weekly to the exact pip. This is the next target for price. And then once price breaks past that area, the next target would be this one right here that I just marked right here on the weekly. So we delete this right here. Go back. And you can see on the weekly time frame, nothing is stopping price up into this area. Last week I told you, I'm telling you, GJ is bullish. If you just buy GJ and hold, I'm pretty much, I mean, obviously you don't want to do that. you want to buy off an area of demand. But you could just, if you get a clean area to hold, you get a clean area of demand to buy, just buy GJ and you can hold to this next area up here. Now let's go to the daily time frame. We have this right here, right here. Daily. You see how price, I'm telling you, literally, it's just a straight bullish move since last week, since I've said it. Now, on the H4, what do we have? I don't know, it's very choppy though. H1 demand right here. Price pulled back into this area. Look how price used this one right here. And then created this new area here that we have marked. Go to M15. We have this right here. Okay, so I will tell you where you could buy GJ if you are going to trade GJ. So let me mark this again real quick, and this will make sense. So you have this right here. And then we'll do the giveaway right now. So you have this, that, and you have the previous high and the previous low day. So you have this right here as well. Previous high of day, previous low of day. Now, like I said, GJ is bullish. Price is targeting these areas up here. So the next target for price is definitely far as fuck. It's far, but it is let me pull this up. About 1,000 pips away. Yeah, 796 pips, so 800 pips away. Now, an area that you could buy GJ off of would be either this. A very likely price is going to pull back into this area. Notice the H1 M15 demand right here. This would be a high probability area to buy off of with an entry confirmation. So if London was to pull back into this area and creates an area of demand off of this area here. So if London pulls back here and gives an area like an entry confirmation to buy, that is super solid. Maybe London doesn't do that. Maybe London just creates an area of demand off the high of day. So all you got to do is keep in mind that on the higher time frame, price is bullish. You're looking to buy either off of the high of day or off of this area over here. Does that make sense, guys? Let me get on the one that chat if that makes sense, or a two if that doesn't make sense. Don't worry, I recorded this is recorded, guys, and I'm gonna upload it right now. As soon as we finish, I'll upload it. All right, now for the giveaway, guys, same thing as always, same thing as always. Just take a picture of me, tag me and Rocket21, and I will pick. So I'm gonna pick two people because last week I don't know what the hell happened, but I'll make sure that we pick two winners today and that you get each $100. Preferably, hopefully, you have Cash App or Zelle. So if you participate, make sure you got Cash App or Zelle. Now it just makes it a little bit harder. If not, I could give you access to, like the Signal group, but it's easier that way because I don't have like Bitcoin or like to send right now. So just take a picture of me, tag Rocket21, tag me, and I will pick two random people and give them $100 each. Is everyone good? Everyone got the picture? All right, perfect. All right, right here. All right, guys. All right. All right, like I said, I'll make sure that I upload this recording as soon as we're done now. It's open, my bro. All right. God bless you guys. Sorry, guys. Okay, fucked around. God bless you guys. I hope you guys have a good week. Like I said, I'm looking forward to doing this every week with you guys. So see you guys in the next one. Peace.